companies at the White House. They plan to discuss returning to Venezuela following the capture of former dictator Nicolas Maduro. We now go live to NTD's Washington correspondent at the North Lawn of the White House, Mari Otsu. Mari, good afternoon. What can we expect from this meeting?
Don, good afternoon. That's right. The meeting was closed to press earlier in the morning, but just a few minutes ago they opened it up, so we'll get live updates from that soon. And this morning, a White House spokeswoman, Taylor Rogers, told us that we can expect American oil companies coming to the White House to discuss investment opportunities that will restore Venezuelan oil infrastructure. She says that the American people, the Venezuelan people, and energy companies will all benefit from these investments. And this is coming as U.S. forces earlier this morning boarded an oil tanker in the Caribbean Sea. That tanker was called the Olena, and it is now the fifth oil tanker that U.S. forces have either boarded or seized in the past month. And President Trump, weighing in on this meeting on Truth Social, says that the U.S. has now canceled the previously planned second wave of attacks on Venezuela, saying he thinks that they're no longer needed. But however, all ships will stay in place for safety and security purposes. He also says that at least $100 billion are expected to be invested in big oil. And here he is previewing the meeting last night. Take a look.
We'll be right here in the White House. We're going to meet with the biggest oil people in the world. They're all coming here. The top 14 companies are coming here. They're going to go in. They're going to rebuild the whole oil infrastructure. They're going to spend at least $100 billion. And it's an unbelievable oil that they have and an unbelievable quality of oil and amount of oil.
When they nationalized the oil industry in Venezuela, going back to the 1920s, American companies had invested billions.
We built it.
All of it.
And then it was taken away from us.
Stolen.
It was stolen from us. And it was taken away, years ago over a period of time, but it was taken away in the early 2000s, even beyond that, but the early 2000s. And I just took it back.
This coming as President Trump this week made three big announcements concerning Venezuela in the wake of the capture of former Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro. The first announcement is that Venezuela would turn over 30 to 50 million barrels of sanctioned oil to the U.S., and the U.S. will then sell that at market price for both the benefit of the American people and the Venezuelan people. And then Venezuela, with those profits, will buy only American-made products. And then the third announcement is that Venezuela has agreed to release all political prisoners. Here's Energy Secretary Chris Wright saying what he thinks it'll take to rebuild the oil infrastructure in Venezuela. Take a look.
Look, for 25 years, we've seen the collapse of the Venezuelan regime. Everything going the wrong direction, a totalitarian socialist dictatorship. And guess what? We've got wildly different leverage now. We've got a Venezuelan government that wants to work with the United States, that wants to try to end the corruption and snuff out all the problems in their country. Or at least they're going to work constructively with us, because that's the only way they get oil revenue. But I have been deluged with companies interested to go to Venezuela. So this is really going to be just President Trump changing the conditions so businesses want to go back in for business reasons. They want to go back. Thousands of Venezuelans in the United States and around the world work for these companies. They're thrilled at the prospect to be able to go back home to their country and help drive change there and help get the energy industry going again.
And President Trump today announcing that he'll be meeting with Colombia's Gustavo Petro in the first week of February at the White House. He also warns that cocaine and other drugs must be stopped from coming into the U.S. And last night, President Trump said that he'll be meeting with the Venezuelan opposition leader, Maria Machado, in the next week. Machado said this week that she wants to give President Trump her Nobel Peace Prize for liberating her country. Don, back to you.
All right, Mari, thank you. U.S. payrolls climbed less than expected in December. The economy added